Now we will study the comparative advantage theory or Ricardian theory. So before the example, I will let you explain what is this theory about. So an English economist named David Ricardo introduced the theory of comparative advantage in 1817. The challenge to the absolute advantage theory was that some countries may be better at producing both goods and therefore have an advantage in many areas. So, what we studied about the advantage theory that one country has the benefit absolute advantage in a product so they can trade. But what if any country don't have any absolute advantage in any product? So, to answer this question, David Ricardo introduced comparative advantage and reasoned that if a country had the absolute advantage in the production of both products, specialization and trade can still occur between two countries. So, comparative advantage meaning ability of an individual, company, or a country to produce at a lower opportunity cost. As we have already studied what is the opportunity cost, let me give you a short brief. It is called next best alternative, you can say. If I explain you what is this opportunity cost with an example, let me tell you that a person A is going to invest in any company. The return interest of chances would be 5%, whereas if he invests the same amount in country B, the return interest would be 8%, but the risk would be high. It is the assumption we are taking here now. So now the person, he is going to invest in country A, which will provide him 5% of interest rate, though it is less than another company. So he's taking the chance of less benefit. So the difference between 8 and 5%, that is 3%, that is called the opportunity cost. Okay. So David Ricardo say that we can trade internationally even if there isn't any absolute advantage. The situation in which a country cannot produce more efficiently than another country, however, among the two of its products, it produces one better and more efficiently than another, trade can be done. If a country is producing two goods, they both have the absolute disadvantages, but product A is has less opportunity cost, or you can say has a comparative advantage in comparison to product B, so trade can be done. Comparative advantage focuses on the relative productivity differences, where absolute advantages look at the absolute productivity. Now we will explain it with the help of example. So here I have taken two country and two commodity, wheat, cotton, and country A and country B. So here country A produce wheat 6 unit per hour, whereas country B produce 1 unit per hour, and country A produce cotton 4 unit per hour, whereas country B produce 2 unit per hour. So here we can see the country B has disadvantages, absolute disadvantages in both the product. So according to Adam Smith theory, trade cannot be done, but the answer to absolute advantage theory or Adam Smith theory, David Ricardo has created this theory where trade can be done even though you don't have any absolute advantages. So how we are going to trade, here we will see here we will compare two products of country B. According to comparative advantage, country A has comparative advantage in production of wheat. Country B has comparative advantage in cotton production than wheat production. So here we are not comparing country B with A. Here we are comparing wheat and cotton production of country B. Country B cotton production is higher than wheat. So country A will produce wheat, whereas country B will produce cotton, and so they can trade. Theoretically, if let me tell you hypothetically, if country A will produce cotton instead of wheat and country B also produces cotton instead of wheat, country would have an absolute advantage because country A produce 4 units per hour, whereas country B also produce 4 units per hour. But country A can produce wheat 6 units per hour. So instead of producing cotton in country A can focus on wheat, whereas country B can focus on cotton, and they can trade internationally.